Hurricane Erin strike mission Quiver. Welcome to the Real Board Loft. I'm Forman, and today I want to talk with you a little bit about my Hurricane Erin strike mission Quiver. Hurricane Erin ended up not being the best of storms to stay here on the Outer Banks. A lot of onshore wind. We did have some really nice windows. The first Monday, we had a half-day window in the morning, and then the final Monday, like a week later, we also had a great evening window as well. And I was really fortunate to be part of those sessions here. But in the middle, it was all hard onshore wind, so I took the opportunity to head up to New England on a quick flight that was booked last minute, and this is what I took with me. For boards, I took a Christensen 610 Nautilus and a 710 Longfish 2 to put them onto the airplane. I took a Channel Islands travel double bag right here. Leashes are super important in New England. A lot of times we don't even use leashes here just because your board just washes into a sand beach, but up in New England where it's all rocks, you want to make sure you have really good leashes. Whenever you're traveling and you don't know what you're traveling to, it's always good to bring a set of tie-down straps. These are the Cliff Bar crack blocks, which we will tell you about more later. And then 2 wetsuits from Minera, a Extend 3-2 full suit and a Seafarer 3-2 long sleeve spring. Diving into the boards, flying on an airline, it made it really easy. I just wanted to reduce my quiver. If I had driven up, I probably would have driven up with like 10, 12 boards and had like kind of the pick of everything. But going on an airline flight, I wanted to reduce the size of my quiver, and also traveling with multiple people in one car, I wanted to make sure that we didn't like Fred Flintstone flip the car over with like too much stuff on the roof. So reduced the quiver down to 2 boards. 610 Nautilus for turns, 710 Longfish 2 for the really small, the really racy, the really big, and the really tired. And then those 2 boards, it makes it really easy to choose between the 2. So 610 Nautilus, this is a board that I've had in my quiver for a couple years now. This is actually the second 610 that Chris made me, and it's got a Peter St. Pierre taped off Lotus spray on the bottom. This one is 610, 21¼ by 3 inches thick, and I got the Geordie larges in there. We found, like, throughout the time working with Chris and with this board, if the board has future fins, Geordies are the best ones. And even the medium-sized riders are sizing up to the largest. Works really, really well. This was gonna be my board for turns, like on the lined up point breaks, and something that you didn't need the extra length to get into. Really, really good board. I've been riding a lot of twin fins, but on those predictable point breaks, it's nice to have a thruster where you can go way out in the flats and then come back up into the face and burn some speed. I've had nothing but good things to say about the Nautilus, especially for hurricane swells, where you want a little bit of extra length over like a standard shortboard getting into the wave, and you're looking to keep your wave count high and your ability to like navigate around the lineups really fast. Awesome, confident board, and from my first one years ago to this one and all the other versions of it, I absolutely love that board when the waves get good. 710 Longfish 2. I saw this board in the shop about 3 days before I left, and just holding it, looking at it, feeling it, channeling it, like this is the board that I wanted to have for when it got really, really good. And I was stoked that I brought this thing with me. 610, 710's always been like a really efficient, productive quiver for me, because the 710 slot just works so well like in those smaller front runners, because we actually flew away from the swell and then the swell caught back up to us, so we were going to have some small front runners in the beginning. Also, when you get those really long lines, like it could be very racy and you need something to get in early and get on the gas, so 710 works really well for that also. Then when it gets big, obviously the big board gets you in early and you can sit way out the back and pick off set waves. Things that I really liked about this board, the ability to, especially when it got windy, there was a ton of offshore wind up north, and then even some days there was some devil wind, so it was like cross off into you when you were going down the line on a really racy wave. This board got in early and then also was able to carry its momentum through the wind and through the chop that was coming at you on the face. And it made a huge difference between this board and then something, you know, much lighter like a chipped out like 6.3 or 6.4. This is also a very functional board to use in the smaller stuff. One thing that I have found with the 2 versus the original Longfish is in the smaller stuff, you really want to make sure that you're staying on the back of the board and you're not putting this V into the water to slow you down. You want to stay basically from the skull back on the board, and that's where the best planing area is to maximize like the softer wave push. but this thing was MVP through the peak of the swell. Leashes. Here in the Outer Banks, there's a lot of days we don't use leashes at all just because there's really no penalty if you lose your board onto sand. Having good leashes up there is critical, so I brought like my regular leash just for like kind of everyday surfing, and then also a good step-up leash with more length and a thicker cord. In New England, like the rocks are no joke. You do not want to be risking it with an old leash or like, you know, some spaghetti string that's been like fully stretched out. So really important if you're going to any place with rocks to double check your leashes, because actually as I was packing everything, I'm going through my leashes like this, just inspecting them, and one of them actually had a really big nick in it. So had I paddled out on that leash, one of these boards would have been toast. Next thing I want to cover is this Channel Islands single double travel board bag. So this is a double board bag. Obviously you could use it as a single as well. The reason I really like these bags, I got into using these big time when all the airlines started clamping down with that 115-inch total limit on the size of your board bag. So 115 total is the length plus the width plus the thickness has to be 115 inches or smaller. And a lot of the airlines are going in that direction. The 7.0 bag in this series fits under 115, and the 7.6 fits just above 115. This is an 8.0. The reason that this one still makes it through for the 115 is because if I'm coming at you like this, which is a tip that I'll hand to everyone, when you're walking into the airport, you're walking right towards the counter like this. You're not walking like this, trying to knock everybody over. If you're walking like this, they can't tell how big it is. And because the bag is all black with black zippers, and it only has 2 boards in it, it doesn't look that big, so they're not gonna start measuring it. So this is the 8.0 double bag. And it also has a shoulder strap, which I use quite a bit going in and out of the airport. So one thing that's worth mentioning about bringing the tie-down straps is you don't have to have racks on the car. Like you don't have to have soft racks, hard racks, and all of a sudden be freaking out that your car doesn't have racks on it. You could do what's called the 90s Puerto Rico tie-down strap. Basically, you're just putting your board bags on the roof, obviously deck down so you're not melting your wax, fins forward, then you're throwing the strap around all of the bags through the car, as far forward and as far back as you can get it on the car, and that's gonna tie it down. You might have a little bit of denting on the rental car roof, which then you could pop out before you return it, but that's the best way to get it done. So whenever I'm going into the unknown, I always bring a couple straps just to make sure that we can get all of our boards to and from the beach. 2 other things as far as accessories to touch on. These are the Cliff Bar crack blocks. Not sure if they actually call them that. Cliff Bar blocks energy chews. These things fit perfectly right inside your chest zipper on your wetsuit. So basically when you're putting your suit on, you put them right in there and zip it closed. And then midway through the session, you peel these things open and you eat a run of these. And it's basically like getting a new player in a video game. Like you're all of a sudden you got like superpowers coming out of the blocks when you're about to crash. And then these things are absolutely vital to have like in long sessions. So like you get to about 2 hours, you eat these things, and it's game on all over again. For my wetsuits, I brought the Monera Seafarer 3.2 spring. This suit's really cool because it's easy to get on and off because it's, you know, got short legs, but it's a 3.2 in thickness. So most long sleeve springs are either 2.2s or 2.1s. This being a 3.2, it basically has the same warmth minus from your knee down that a standard 3.2 would have. So going into the water up north, this is a really, really useful suit to have in the Quiver as like a second suit. So normally I would use the full in the morning and the evening, and I would use this in the middle of the day when it was the warmest, but having it be a 3.2 rather than a 2.1 is really cool. I really enjoy that suit a lot. This one from Monera is the Extend 3.2 full, and this suit is their, what they would call their warmer 3.2. They also make a Seafarer 3.2. This is gonna be warmer than the Seafarer. These suits, I found them to be really wind resistant, meaning like the wind doesn't blow straight through you and refrigerate you like a lot of suits do. This one's got great wind protection, really good insulation, and is still flexible. And with Monera's 3D fit, the fit on it's really good. Any questions on any of this gear, you can always reach us at the shop, 252-987-6000, or look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.